everybody, it's Christina of CraftyPaws. I'm here to share with you guys a couple more little puppy tags that I made for my larger wreath that I'm planning on doing. These puppies are also from the My Favorite Things or MFT Happy Pawlidays stamp set. I think these pups are so stinking cute, and I decided to color them up. One to look like kind of like a yellow lab, and the other one I was inspired by Snoopy, of course. So these are the two that I Copic colored and put in little red frames, and here's the process. So this is the actual stamp set, Happy Pawlidays, and I'm gonna stamp out the little Snoopy look-alike dog that's holding a stocking in its mouth, and I've already pre-die cut the circle base from Copic friendly paper. This is Georgia Pacific cardstock that I get at Walmart. I'll put a link in the description box below. If you don't have a Walmart close to you, it's also available on Amazon. I stamped out the puppy twice, the second time on this little scrap of paper so that I could have an extra little stocking. So I decided, since I'm going to make this look like Snoopy, that the white parts of the little puppy I'm going to color up in neutral grays. Usually for dogs, I like, or actually usually for critters, anything living, I try to use warm grays, but I actually wanted this to be a little bit cooler, so I went with the neutral, the N line of grays, and I'm using the N0 and the N1 for the white areas of the puppy. I'm following kind of around the eyes, and the lower part of the belly, the back paw, the lower part of the mouth, by the neck, under the collar. And then for the ear, that's going to be black, as well as the nose, I'm starting actually with an N7. And I also added a little spot on his back. Now I'm going in with a darker N9. And I'm leaving some of those little white streaks in the ears because that's actually how Snoopy is colored. For the bell, I'm using a couple of different yellows. And then for the collar, I'm using my standard red trio of colors. And I'm trying to keep the reds consistent from puppy to puppy, so that's why I'm not changing these around. The same thing with the teal. I want there to be a consistent color palette throughout this whole wreath, so I'm just picking the same colors other than changing the colors of the dogs, obviously. So for the little Santa hat, I decided to give this guy a little red hat, and you saw that I had pre-colored the stocking that the puppy's holding in the main image, but I'm coloring this one up a little bit different. I'm using a different pattern of red, teal, and white stripes. I wanted the toe to actually have a color, and this was the way I could achieve that. I also wanted the heel to have the teal color, but not have it be up against or adjacent to a stripe that was going to be a teal color. So it took a little bit of finagling, but with this stripe combination, red, white, teal, repeated over and over, I think the stocking came out looking really cute. And I'm using the three colors or three tones of each color for the teal and the red, just to get a full kind of three-dimensional look to the stocking. So the lower part and the back part of the stocking is getting the darkest color, then the mid-tone, then the highlighted area is the lightest tone. And same for the teal, I'm using the base color is the BG11, the darkest is the BG15, and then the mid-tone, bridging the two, is the BG13. And I didn't want the white areas to be stark white, so I decided to bring back the N1 and the N0 to give a little bit of dimension to those white areas of the stocking as well. And I figured that would coordinate nicely with the puppy. I'm inking the edges of this fussy cut little stocking with a Tuxedo Black Memento marker. I find that that doesn't bleed into the little cardstock on the edges while covering up the white of the edge of the cardstock. I'm using some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals because that has a little bit of dimension, not too much, and I'm leaving the area that's going to be attached right to the puppy's mouth without the double-sided foam adhesive, and I'm going to use a little bit of wet glue. This is my favorite wet glue. This is the Art Glitter glue, and that way it'll look like it's actually coming directly or hanging directly from that puppy's mouth. Little bit of dimension, but attached where it's being hung or hanging from the puppy's mouth. And I'm adding some clear Wink of Stella to the white areas of the little Santa cap, and also on the bell and on the stocking, off camera actually, for the stocking. And now I'm going to put in a little ground so it doesn't look like the puppy is floating. I'm doing that with the same warm grays. I'm using the W W5 and the W3. The 5 is the area right underneath the stocking for the cast shadow of that, and where the puppy is sitting on the ground there. And I'm blending out again with one more layer of the W3 just to blend it out a little bit. And I'm leaving the edges kind of wispy because I know it's going to be mostly covered up with the die cut circle frames that I've used, that I've cut out using the Diamond Dies Dynormous Stack'ems Circle Nesting die set. And if you're interested in buying any dies from Diamond Dies, use the code ThanksChristina for 10% off and free worldwide shipping on all orders of $35 or more. And that's the finished Snoopy lookalike. Now for the little puppy that's tangled up in the holiday lights. I think this puppy is so stinking cute, and it's kind of a nondescript kind of puppy, so you can color it up any way you like. I decided to go with kind of a yellow lab color. So I'm putting on a base of a color that is actually reading very, very yellow. It's a Y13. And I'm just laying down that base color. I'm thinking about where else I need to add that color. I figure putting in a base mostly around the puppy would be fine. And then I'm going slightly darker with the Y15, trying to add a little bit of roundness to the face. Shading on the lower part of the face where the ears are closest to the face, on the lower part of the paws, its belly, the lower part of its haunches, and then I'm going slightly darker again with a Y26. I figure this kind of tan color will make it look a little bit more natural and dull down the yellow a little bit without making it too dull. I didn't want the puppy to turn brown. I really wanted to get that golden yellowy lab color there. And for the next shade darker, I'm using a Y28, which reads a little bit gold, but it's great to add for shadowing images that are more yellow or light gold. And then lastly, I'm even adding an E57, which is kind of a mid, almost dark brown. And that really helps add dimension to those nooks and crannies of the puppy. Underneath its Santa hat, on the edges where the ear meets the face, underneath its chin, the little, I don't know what it's called, this little down crease underneath its nose, where its paws are kind of coming together, the lower parts of the paws, the belly, all those areas, kind of the nooks and crannies of the puppy image. I am using that darkest color and then going in reverse order again to the Y28, 26, 15. And then lastly, I'm going to just blend out the last area with a Y13. So I sped this up pretty fast, but you get the idea. It really helps add a roundness and three-dimensionality. Again, I'm adding the W3 for the ground so the puppy doesn't look like it's floating. And I'm kind of flicking from the center out. And then for the area just under the puppy, I am adding that darker shadow with a W5. And I'm blending out again with another layer of the W3 just so that the W5 and the 3 blend nicely together, re-emphasizing that W5 one last time. And then I decide I need a little bit more emphasis with that E57 because with all that blending, I think I lost some of the darkest shadow. So I went in one more time with the E57, blended out one more time with the Y28 just to get those darkest areas really dark and add that three-dimensional look. So I'm blending out a little bit more with the Y26, and that I think makes the puppy look finished. Now for the holiday lights, I decide every other light is going to be red and the alternating lights are going to be that teal color again. I want, again, that uniformity or coordinated look for all of these puppy images that I'm coloring up. And I also wanted to make sure, because I wanted to color up the hat with the red, I wanted the lights that were closest to the hat not necessarily to be red. So that's why I'm trying to figure out which alternate lights which lights are going to be colored, which color combination. So each of these little tiny areas are also getting the 3-color trio blending. And I'm trying to get the lower parts of each bulb or the right side of each bulb the darker shade. And then I'm adding white highlights for each of the light bulbs with a Signal Uniball white gel pen. And I think that adds a nice little bright look to each of the light bulbs. Now I'm going into color in that Santa hat, laying in that base color of the R35, blending in with the darkest, and then now blending in with the mid-tone and the lightest red again. And this time I'm not going to color up the white areas of the Santa hat. I'm skipping directly over with a black Sakura glaze pen for the eyes and the nose to give a little shine. And here I'm using a Deco Art Snow Rider, and my little container of this has dried out, so rather than using the nozzle, I'm using a little nub of a paintbrush, which I shared this little technique in my last video, but I thought I would share it one more time to show you how easy it is to add this kind of fluffy, snowy texture. If this was an outdoor scene, this would be a great way to add texture for a snow covered ground, or snow on top of rooftops or anything like that. I love this Snow Rider or Snow Tex. It's a great little crafty tool, I guess, that is wonderful for holiday projects, cards, tags, whatnot. And that's the finished second, or I guess fourth little tag. I love how these little puppy tags are coming out. I hope this process video was enjoyable. If you liked it, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a wonderful crafty day. I can't wait to share with you guys the wreath.